Well, I've just moved house and I'm setting up my reverse osmosis plant again, and because I'm on a water meter I want to put the RO waste into a soakaway rather than put it into the drains, because it'll save me about £1.80 a cubic metre. So I thought I'd make a video so other people can see how I've gone about it. The old-fashioned way of making a soakaway was to dig a big hole about 1 metre square and fill it with rocks and hardcore, and then run your water into that. But of course rock and hardcore doesn't absorb water, so you needed a very big hole, because about 30% of it was about all you got, the voids between the rock and the stone. So but with today's modern materials it's possible to make a much smaller hole. It's still pretty big. You can see this hole I've dug, it's about 2 foot across and it's about 3'6" deep, and I've got myself one of these blue water barrel or chems or something come in them, which has had the top sawn off, and I'm going to use that to make a giant colander. So if I come around this side, you can see I've been, I don't know if you can see this here, I've been peppering it with holes using a 7mm drill, and the big hole at the top is where the waste pipe from the RO is going to go in, and I've been turning it into Swiss cheese basically, and that's going to go in my hole in the ground. Doesn't need any rocks and stone in it, because it will be just a big hole that the water can go in. You can see the holes back from the outside, and then it will percolate out into the surrounding soil. So just going to carry on drilling some holes in that, and then I'll explain some more. Well, I finished drilling holes in my barrel. Now my patio's covered in all this blue plastic swarf. There you can see the barrel. See the light shining through there? It's like better than the London Planetarium, isn't it, boys? Anyway, that's my the centre of my reverse osmosis plant, and I'm going to put that down the hole. But before I do that, I want to take a few measures to stop small stones and silt and mud getting into the barrel and clogging the system up. And I'm going to do that using weed-proof membrane. This is the stuff that you can get from the garden centre. People who do landscape gardening use it to control weeds in flower beds and that sort of thing. And I'm going to put some of that in the hole. But before I do that, I'm just going to put a little layer of pea shingle down there. So here we go. I've taped the membrane onto the barrel there so to hang on to it, and a bit of an overlap onto the bottom there, and I'm just going to roll it up. So there we go, nice and easy to do. Gets me several layers, and then I'm just going to tape that off at the end. Right, so I've trussed up my barrel in garden membrane now. You can see just coming around that side. I've overlapped it on the bottom and stuck it with a bit of gaffer tape. That's my usual go-to solution. If it doesn't move, and it should, WD-40. If it does move and it shouldn't, gaffer tape. But just to make sure, I've put a couple of bits of string around there as well to make sure the membrane doesn't come off when it goes in the hole. So now to drop it down, and hopefully it fits. There we go. Just going to give it a push, make sure it's gone all the way down. You can see that's sitting just below the surface there. It doesn't really matter to be down too deep. I've just got enough room to fill it back up. This is actually a flower bed in the middle of my lawn. I'm going to put the lid on and put a load of earth over it and grow some flowers over it, so it's all well hidden. Right, next job is to put the feed pipe in from the RO. You can see that I've dug a trench across to the garage. There's a pile of crap there, but the hose pipe come in there. I've put it in some pipe insulation. You can see that. I don't think it's really necessary, but it's unlikely to freeze because it's in the ground. Oh, I've put the barrel in the wrong way round. The hole it's got to go in is in the other side, so I've just got to turn it round. That's better. I've got it lined up now, so there's the hole. As I say, I don't don't think I really need to insulate it. It's not likely to freeze, but I think it does just give the pipe a bit of protection in case there's any sharp stones in the ground. The ground here is pretty stony. It will just mean it doesn't puncture the pipe. I've just got to cut a hole in the membrane and put the pipe in. There we go again. So I'm now filling around the sides with pea shingle. Got a few more bags to go in there. I'll just brush that down. I'll go and get some more. Hopefully you can see I've now filled up with the pea shingle round. I'm just giving the membrane a little bit of a tug just to help it jiggle down. Make sure that there's no gaps, and I can see there's a bit of a cascade going down that side. So I'm just going to brush some more down there. Make sure it's really well filled up. The same is happening around this side a bit. I'll just get a bit more in there. I think I'll just shake it a little. I need a little bit more. Did get a few bits in the bottom of the barrel, but not too much. Just a handful really. Right, I think that's pretty good. So we're all filled up with pea shingle. Nice and tight around the edges there. No gaps or voids. Nothing coming. As I said, I've got a little bit in the bottom. Now my reverse osmosis plant isn't actually up and running at the moment. I'm waiting for a couple of connectors to come. I thought if I just chuck some water in there, we can test the system and you can see how it works. So if I can just hold the membrane out of the way for a little while. Try and tip this bucket one-handed. So I'll put a load of water in there. Just throwing 2 gallons in there. And it's just slowly draining away. It won't go very, very quickly because this is quite a heavy clay soil here. But I can see about half of it's gone. The bottom of the barrel's beginning to appear. So I'm sure that's working quite nicely. Obviously with the RO it doesn't go in anything like as quick as that. It's only going to be about 1 litre a minute, maybe a little bit more because it's only a small RO plant. But yeah, that will gradually soak away. So that's how it works. I just need now to close it all up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of plastic across the top under the lid to keep the dirt out, because the lid doesn't fit very well. And then I'm going to, in fact I think I might just tape those holes up, and then I'm going to put some plastic on top and then close the membrane over it. There we are, that's the lid in place. As I said, I'm just going to put some plastic over it because of these holes, just to make sure that soil and the rubbish doesn't drop down. I've got some nice thick plastic which I'm going to put on there. And again, I can't do it and hold the camera, so I'm going to do it, put it on and I'll show you. There we are, so there's that thick brown plastic in there. It's an old camping ground sheet that I've cut up. It wasn't much good anyway, it perished. So I'm going to cover that up, wrap the membrane over the top, and then I've got another bit of the same ground sheet that I'm going to put on top of that, so that we'll get a really good seal, and then the soil can go back. So there we are. I've lidded it up with the plastic, and I've actually folded the plastic down over the edges and put some more gravel in just to keep the plastic in place so it doesn't migrate. So it keeps it nice and tight. I'm going to cover that up with soil, and then the missus can get in there planting up stuff. I know she fancies a trip to the garden centre, so there we go. And that's my reverse osmosis plant. After that, all I've got to do is just fill that trench in. I haven't insulated all the pipe yet, but I've got to move some other stuff to do that. So there we are. Soakaway. Last job is to phone up the water company, tell them I've done that. If they doubt it, I've obviously got the video I can show them, but that way I can claim an abatement on my sewage charges, so that all the water that goes through my RO, whether I take it away and put it on customers' windows or whether it goes to waste, I'm not paying a sewage charge on it because it's not being processed for sewerage. That's it. Hope you enjoyed that. Bye for now.